Fei Lu Novel Network A.Level Contracted Novel. Amazing Immortal Cultivation Simulator. Among the numerous beings in the 3 realms and 6 realms, Lin Miao was awarded the Immortal Cultivation Simulator and established a mountain gate, embarking on a journey of cultivating immortals. The fate of heaven is not determined by ordinary people, and many cultivators and great talents have perished under the thunder calamity. But Lin Miao, killing can obtain magic treasures, elixirs, and martial arts rewards. With just one eye, he can see the calamity of life and identify hidden dangers. Sensing the movement of heaven and earth, taking the spirit of all things, can thunderbolt pierce through the 100 magic treasures of my protective array. Under the heavenly calamity that caused the cultivator's soul to fly away and disappear, Lin Miao laughed and talked confidently, and with just one palm, he scattered his heavenly calamity. Fei Lu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 001. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 6 years. After struggling for 6 years, Lin Miao thought that as long as his will was strong enough you can survive. But ultimately, we cannot compete for this inevitable fate. Grasping the hospital's laboratory test report, the doctor had already abandoned treatment for himself. His internal organs were severely depleted. According to the doctor's words, even if the Luo Jingxian descended, he could not save himself. Linha Park, Bridge. My parents and I have been suffering together for 6 years. My older sister had a promising academic future, but she extended my life for 6 years by dropping out of school early to earn money for me. The ice water on the river has melted, and today the weather is particularly good, with the sunlight shining on the water surface. The bridge, couples cuddle up and talk sweet words. The old man and the old lady walk together, singing and laughing, each with a smile on their face, welcoming the new year. Only Lin Miao, even the sunlight on her face, and some only have endless coldness. Her pale face forced out a bitter smile, and for a long time, she let out a long sigh. My heart has been tormented by these 6 years, smoothing out the edges. Dad, Mom, Sister, liberation. It's good for everyone. Tears flickered in her eyes. For them, these 6 years have been a torment. It's just death. This day has changed. Why is it snowing again? Curses came from beside me. Before, it was still sunny and windy. After a while, snowflakes drifted down. Unconsciously, the ground has been covered with a layer of white. Only Lin Miao remained above the bridge. Goodbye, don't read. He took out his phone and took a photo of the test report and sent it to his family group, sending it in 4 words. The phone was placed flat on the bridge and plunged into the icy water while climbing the bridge. At the moment of entering the water, Lin Miao's weak body was frozen stiff, and ice gas seeped into his organs through his body. Not much pain, but rather because of liberation, with a smile on her face. My body gradually sank into the bottom of the river in the blur. I felt someone lifting me from the water to the shore, squeezing my abdomen, tightly gripping my nose, and covering my lips with 2 warm and soft petals. Golem Lin Miao suddenly woke up, curled up and spat out cold water in his stomach. In the 245th year of the Qianxia calendar, it is the 12th month. The main sect of Tai, which was established on the Moonwill Mountain, was suddenly invaded by external enemies. Although the leader of the sect broke through the golden elixir on the battlefield, he fell into the Julong formation while chasing the enemy and unfortunately fell. At night, the Tai sect was completely destroyed, and only a few outer disciples escaped from the mountain gate under the desperate protection of the inner sect elders. A sound came from the brain. Lin Miao punched his painful head and shook himself up. In the distance, with green mountains and clear waters, there are stacked peaks. There was a commotion in my ears, and in a blur, I saw 3 people falling. 4 members of your sect escaped their lives under the desperate protection of the elders of the inner sect. You were fortunate enough to be passed down by one of their immortals while hiding in the snowy mountains of Bufeng. Mysterious immortals reshape your meridians and pass on the demonstrative immortal tool. After inheritance, the mysterious immortal teleported the 4 members of your sect to Wufeng Mountain through immortal techniques. You will start a new journey here. A series of sounds echoed in the brain. At this point, the line of sight became clear. Senior brother, how are you? The extremely beautiful woman next to her, dressed in wet clothes, stared at herself with great concern. Seeing Lin Miao's expression somewhat dazed, the woman clenched her lips tightly, her eyes glistening, and tears streamed down her cheeks all the way to the ground. He hugged Lin Miao tightly in his arms and said, Senior brother, it's Shuer who's useless and couldn't protect you. Amidst the cries of pain, Lin Miao instinctively reached out and landed his hand on the latter's waist. Although both of their bodies were soaked through, Lin Miao could clearly feel the warmth emanating from their delicate bodies. You used to be the first disciple of the leader of the Tai sect. You were young and talented, making you a talented individual. But all the laws of heaven and earth are inseparable from the Tao. The 3 realms of heaven, earth, and human beings are all in a cycle of reincarnation. Life is strict, with strict, rigorous, and clear 4 laws. Under the natural laws of Taoism, although Lin Miao has abundant talents, his meridians are incomplete and unable to break through and build foundations, and he cannot bring the spiritual energy of heaven and earth into his body. It was also the mysterious immortal who reshaped his meridians to cultivate qi. So it was just a life crisis. Lin Miao murmured to himself, his eyes also slightly lost in thought. Yes, what the earth has experienced is a life crisis that immortals reshaped their meridians and changed their destiny against the heavens in the mortal world. I used to be a cultivator in the spiritual realm. Lin Miao is now in the spiritual realm of the 3 realms. Earth, on the other hand, is a mortal world lacking spiritual power. 1 day in the sky, 1 year on the earth. The time difference between the spiritual realm and the mortal realm is exactly 1 day, 1 year. As for why Lin Miao woke up with a splitting headache, it was also due to the awakening of memories in the spiritual realm. Xianxia simulator, murmured the heart. In the information, it is displayed as follows. Moreover, under the guidance of the simulator, one can still return to Earth and the time difference can be converted. So I spent a year in the spiritual realm, and the Earth connected to me has only just passed a day, Lin Miao murmured to his heart. Conversely, the same applies. Who exactly is that immortal? How could he have such a powerful immortal weapon? Lin Miao was puzzled in his heart, only remembering that the immortal had told him he was going to cross the immortal tribulation, and the immortal weapon was just a burden to him. Chapter 002 Building Foundation Pill. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Lu Qianxue. The woman nestled in her arms in front of her was the daughter of the Tai sect leader and also a childhood sweetheart who grew up with Lin Miao. And myself an orphan under the flames of war. Although Lin Miao was able to achieve great perfection in foundation construction due to incomplete meridians before, he still couldn't break through the foundation construction period and did not receive ridicule from his peers. Perhaps it is because when he was young, Lin Miao, as the eldest senior brother, took good care of his younger brothers who were also teenagers. During her youth, Lu Qianxue often taught her the techniques for building foundations. Perhaps it was during this period that Lu Qianxue developed an unusual liking for herself. In fact, Lin Miao at that time was just conducting experiments on Lu Qianxue because he did not break through the first round of foundation construction. When Lin Miao was lost in thought, the information of Lu Qianxue also came to mind. In the 6-dimensional chart, Lu Qianxue's 6 talents, including bone, charm, comprehension, opportunity, potential, and divine sense, all exceed 5 points, especially her charm reaches 7 points. In terms of skills, Lu Qianxue's aura and combat techniques have both exceeded level 10. Well, Shuer is a good cultivator, Lin Miao murmured to her heart. I'm really scared to death. What's wrong with that immortal? Why did the shuttle method directly throw you into the lake, senior brother? The chubby disciple with a braid behind his head wiped a cold sweat and sighed. However, senior brother has always been very good at water, how could he suddenly drown? The latter shook his head in confusion. In the message, this chubby disciple is Wen Jing. All 6 talents are very low, with only 2 barely reaching 5 points. However, in terms of skills, board building, and craftsmanship, they have reached level 20. As Master said, junior brother Wen Jing is indeed more suitable for playing with wooden crafts than cultivating immortals. With an awkward smile, Wen Jing didn't know that the immortal had reshaped his meridians and changed his life against the heavens to overcome a life crisis. If it's okay, otherwise, said the young man in a black robe with his hair tied, frowning and clenching his fists slightly away from the 3 of them. This young man looks very handsome, but he is scattered with cold air. I also recall his character experiences in my mind. Jing Feiyu, this guy still looks like this bitter and deep hatred. Lin Miao's gaze fixed on the latter. Jing Feiyu is not a disciple of the same sect, but a disciple of a friend of his master. When he was young, the Jing Feiyu school was completely destroyed. On his deathbed, his teacher took him to Tai school and entrusted him to his master. And there is a high possibility that there is a significant correlation between Tai Yi's changes and Jing Feiyu. But it's not Jing Feiyu's fault, there's no need to feel guilty and isolate oneself like that. Feiyu. He stepped up and landed in front of the ladder, his arm resting on the ladder's shoulder, throwing a gentle smile. Senior brother. Only Lin Miao's appearance made Jing Feiyu feel guilty and unbearable. In the information department, it was unexpectedly seen that the latter is a reincarnation of a killing star, specifically born for combat and slaughter. All 6 talents are excellent, with a top-notch foundation and 7 points of charm. In terms of skills, the battle has reached the top level. Senior brother, Jing Feiyu, swear here that even if I fall into the demon realm, I will not let you suffer any more harm. Jing Feiyu silently made a vow in his heart. Jing Feiyu doesn't have much emotional attachment to the Tai sect, but he treats the Tai sect leader and Lin Miao like family members. The leader, needless to say, raised him like a son. Lin Miao was his only playmate when he was young, and the only happy memory from childhood to adulthood. Lin Miao sensed something from the abnormal eyes of Jing Feiyu. As my master had said before, Jing Feiyu had a solitary personality, and with that experience, it was easy for him to deviate from the path of cultivating immortality. 3 junior brothers, junior sister has all the talents and skills, what about me? Lin Miao thought to himself. One's own innate skills also emerge. 6 dimensions, except for the bone charm that has just reached 5 points, the other 4 have all reached 7 points. The information describes oneself as talented in heaven. Heavenly talent. Gifted with intelligence, with incomplete meridians, unable to cultivate. But now the negative impact has been erased. In terms of skills, everything is average, but the culinary arts have all reached the top level 20. The female yellow elixir is at full level. And the cultivation simulator can also see the mood and cultivation status of the junior brothers and sisters. Lu Qianshue's foundation has reached its peak, and the surprised feathers foundation is full. In the early stages of Wen Jing's foundation construction, he was surprised, and the gap between the 3 was too big. There are scattered pills and secret techniques on the grassland. Because they had previously rescued Lin Miao from drowning, the 3 of them placed all the treasures they carried on the ground, fearing they might have gotten wet. These are all the treasures that the 4 of them brought out during the changes in Tai sect. The messages that appear are mostly low-level healing pills, but there is one pill that can directly allow a cultivator to break through the foundation and reach the stage of coagulation. Senior brother, this foundation building pill was fought back by senior sister Xianxia. She has been thinking of you all along. Wen Jing wiped his nose with his fingers and chuckled lightly, but his eyes were red and his expression was very low. Yes, the school is gone. The whole school is 2-1, and only 4 senior brothers are left. Chapter 003. Return to Earth. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Unscrewing the bottle cap, a fragrance of Qingyi Dan wafted out. A water blue round pill was poured out of the bottle. Here, senior brother. Wen Jing handed the pill in his hand to himself. The three of them all hoped that this foundation building pill would be taken by Lin Miao, because anyone present would be wasting their precious pill. Furthermore, Taiyi's sect had high hopes for Lin Miao, and the day before the Shanmen incident, they were all trying to reshape his meridians. Of course, there is also prestige. Master Lin Miao can afford it. The road of building a foundation, although it is the first step in cultivating immortality, has trapped countless young people with dreams of cultivating immortality. Jing Feiyu, after 13 years of diligent cultivation and hard work, has just reached the perfect foundation. Focusing on this pill and looking at the three people, Lin Miao no longer hesitated and swallowed the pill in one gulp. The pill enters the abdomen, and a warm current instantly flows into the meridians, flowing through the 5 organs and 6 viscera. The body is also becoming fuller, with 5 clear senses. With just a few breaths, one's own realm has been continuously surpassed by beginners, intermediate, advanced, peak, and great fullness at the same time. The essence and power in the body are transformed into qi. Like a gravitational field, it draws the spiritual energy from heaven and earth through the meridians and flows into the body. Lin Miao felt that the whole world had suddenly become bright, and the 5 senses could clearly perceive the spiritual energy flowing in the world. Thinking of shooting with one palm, a burst of energy erupted with the palm, creating a water hole on the lake surface. Looking at the ripples on the water surface, Lin Miao couldn't help feeling lost. 32 times, 30.2 times reaching the perfect foundation, each time without success, finally breaking through. With a sigh, his nose slightly soured. Breaking through the foundation construction period symbolizes that Lin Miao has taken the first step in cultivating immortality and entered the condensation phase. Can be counted as a true cultivator. Turning his head to look at Lu Qianxue, who pursed his back and wiped away tears. In the gaze towards the latter, there was also a floating color of water. Schwer. Lu Qianxue was very thoughtful and knew that she had the deepest understanding of the water pulse. She specially rescued a water pulse building pill. Ka-ba, when Jing built a bonfire pile, and the fire folder raised the bonfire. Ah, my clothes are all wet. It's really cold in December. I took off my coat and started baking. When Jing raised another bonfire on the side, prepared for Lu Qianxue. The three of them were circling around the campfire to warm up, with a stand made of leaves serving as a screen on one side, and Lu Qianxue drying clothes on the other side. However, Lin Miao did not tremble like Wen Jing, his frozen body trembling with fear. His feathers and bones were excellent, and his physical fitness was very good, but he could withstand it. Senior brother, we can only have some dry food for now. Wen Jing poured out some dried meat and steamed buns from his back pocket. As he spoke, he picked up a steamed bun and started gnawing on it. This guy didn't care about taking anything to escape, he actually brought a lot of dry food. With a light smile, he also grabbed the pastry and took a bite. Schwer. She stood up and asked. Senior brother, a soft moan came from the leaf rack. Looking inside, he leaned over and glanced at the cat, who was lying on the ground in a single shirt. For eyes met, but Qianxue's cheeks were flushed and she lowered her head. Here, let's have some. Stepping over softly, the pastry was handed over. Senior brother Xia, he took it and bit into his small mouth, not daring to look at Lin Miao. Yes, dressed in a single white shirt, all covered in muscle powder, with a pink bag tied around the back of the neck. Seeing that Lin Miao didn't turn his gaze and stared at her, he even reached out and flicked his still wet hair, blocking his chest. Lin Miao didn't linger on him, he took off his dry gray shirt and covered him. Senior brother, you. Don't worry about me, my body is not that weak in the condensed state, she chuckled softly and reached out to grab it into her arms. With strands of wet hair, I feel even more heartbroken for Xianxia. When holding on to her arms, she felt a slight tremble in her delicate body, but did not refuse. Her head was buried in her chest, her body tightly pressed against the pastry, and she felt the warmth emanating from Lin Miao's body. Lu Xianxia, who doesn't know about her thoughts all over the door. But Lin Miao can only pretend not to know. Cultivating immortality, choosing a partner is very important. A useless person who can't even solidify her qi is only harmed by being with the excellent fairy root of Lu Xianxia. But now the mountain gate changed and all her relatives were lost, leaving Lu Xianxia with only her own senior brother. Yimi, when Jing curled up under a layer of leaves and started snoring. Lu Xianxia was also sleeping soundly, while Jing Feiyu meditated and recuperated, while also serving as a lookout for her fellow disciples. 1 year, 1 day. 365-1. That means I stayed on earth for a month, and only 2 hours have passed in the spiritual realm, murmured the heart, getting up and giving a warning to Jing Feiyu. Don't worry, come back soon. Looking at Jing Feiyu's worried expression, Lin Miao chuckled lightly and stepped into the small forest. In the depths of the forest, a faint light shines Gollum just as Lin Miao opened his eyes, he choked on a mouthful of ice water. The body was already lying at the bottom of the lake. With one palm tapping, spiritual energy poured into the body and burst out through the palm. A deep hole exploded in the body where he lay, and with the push, Lin Miao's whoosh like a fish rose from the bottom of the lake. Pup, his whole body shattered the floating ice on the lake's surface. Under the control of spiritual energy, Lin Miao stood directly on the water surface. A few flashes jumped to the shore. Glancing around, it's okay, no one. He let out a sigh. Chapter 004. Difu, Ghost Soldiers. You are listening at novelfull.audio. There is no breath of life within 300 meters of perception. In addition, as the snowflakes drifted away, the line of sight was not clear either. Although there was no breath of life, Lin Miao could sense a very eerie aura above the bridge. Looking up, I could clearly see a dark figure standing on the bridge. Strange, this kid. The dark figure also stared at Lin Miao. In a blink of an eye, it landed right next to me. A message came from before my eyes. The ghost soldiers of the underworld, also known as ghost messengers, in the mortal world, are responsible for collecting souls and returning to the underworld, dedicating themselves to the cycle of the 3 realms and 6 paths. Ghost soldier. With a squint in his eyes, he sensed that this ghost strength was in the middle of building a foundation. Can you see me? Similarly, the ghost also exclaimed in surprise. Strange, on the wheel of life and death, this kid's destiny has already come to an end. The ghost kept staring at him up and down, and what frightened him even more was that his perception could not detect Lin Miao's current physical condition, which was blocked by a barrier-like aura. I can't believe that the ghost devil's mansion really exists, Lin Miao whispered on his side. Accept the message that came from before your eyes. The 3 realms and 6 paths are the immortal realm, the spiritual realm, and the mortal realm. 6 paths, demon path, ghost path, underworld path, Buddha path, and Honghuang path. The 3 realms and 6 paths are all in the cycle of reincarnation. This ghost is a person from the underworld, who originally took me into the underworld and put me into reincarnation. Lin Miao murmured softly, but the mysterious immortal changed his fate against heaven, and he was no longer a person from this mortal world. The ghost soldier pulled out a compass, his eyes staring round. Spiritual realm. Are you a person from the spiritual realm? Lin Miao nodded lightly with a smile, exactly. Can this kid be a disciple of a certain immortal in the spiritual realm? The ghost soldier murmured in his heart. Yes, only immortals have the ability to freely shuttle through the 3 realms and 6 paths. Thinking about it, the black dark aura surrounding the scattered ghosts and soldiers also replaced the black and thin face with respect. It seems that he sent me as a disciple of a certain immortal to the next training session, Lin Miao murmured in his heart. Seeing that all these ghosts had dispersed their aura shields, Lin Miao also removed the spiritual barrier from his body. Of course, the qi on Guicha's body is not the spiritual energy of the true qi refining realm, but rather a defensive treasure on his body that can protect himself. So you are a cultivator, it's a pleasure to meet you. Guichai bowed to himself. The cultivator is a collective term for cultivators in the various realms of the world. My name is Lin Xiao. As you can see, the underworld minion is also known as the ghost messenger in the mortal world. The latter grinned with a smile that he believed was kind. Lin Miao, I also bowed in response. Well, I have to hurry to the next place to collect my soul, so I'll say goodbye first. Lin Xiaogong laughed, and after Lin Miao nodded, the meditation vessel once again spread out of his body and flew into the sky, quickly disappearing from sight. Looking at the dark shadows in the distance of the sky, Lin Miao was smashing his mouth. Lin Xiao's cultivation level is average, but he has quite a few treasures on his body. Yes, the reason why he was able to fly off the surface was also through the underworld treasures. But I don't envy the latter either. Being a ghost errand can be very difficult. He is completely a laborer, and he cannot improve his strength through cultivation like a cultivator. Even after his term ends, most of them will be put into reincarnation, hoping to be able to enter the spiritual realm. After a moment of confusion, Lin Miao finally remembered his family and ran to the bridge to retrieve his phone. After a while, there were several missed calls on my phone. Son. Don't take it too hard. If you leave, how will our family live? Looking at the messages one by one, Lin Miao couldn't help but burst into tears. I came to this mortal world and experienced the warmth of my family. Dad, Mom, Sister, I'm just joking. I'll be going home right away. After sending a message, I ran all the way home and met my family in front of the community who was in a hurry to go out and search for them. Son, where have you been? Why are you getting wet? You scared us to death. My parents couldn't help but cry and hugged me tightly. Mom and Dad, don't worry, isn't it okay for me? He smiled and scanned his eyes towards the old sister Lin Bing beside him. The latter had deep red circles around his eyes, and when he saw Lin Miao's gaze, he reached out and hit. Sister, don't. Instinctively, she shrank her neck, but felt her hands tightly embrace her neck. Returning home, I took a hot shower and changed into dry clothes. Drink the ginger soup quickly, don't catch a cold. Mom brought a bowl of hot and steaming brown sugar ginger water. Ding ding, Lin Bing's phone rang. With a slight frown, he grabbed his phone and entered the bedroom. Although the door was tightly closed, Lin Miao could clearly hear the impatient urge for payment on the phone. Okay, please wait a little longer. Tomorrow, I will definitely repay the money I owe you. Humph, what you said, tomorrow. You can't change tomorrow, use your body to pay for it. For a long time, Lin Bing finally walked out of the bedroom, and the speckled tears made Lin Miao's heart ache like needles. Sister, whose phone is it? Oh, a friend, I was worried about something wrong with you just now, so I contacted a few friends to help me find you. Lin Bing changed into a smile and unconsciously put a few strands of hair behind her. It was obvious that Lin Bing was lying, but Lin Miao did not poke it. Friend. My family doesn't have any friends, they are all afraid of my family. People have to hide when they see each other. How could anyone dare to approach my family? Afraid of opening up and asking for money. Chapter 005. The money will be returned to you, but if you dare to hit my sister. You are listening at novelfull.audio. As the saying goes, it's better to save the poor than to save the urgent. The richer a person is, the better they borrow money. Like a poor family who have taken on several jobs and continued their lives as a family, son, what do you want to eat tonight? Mom will make it for you. Although I pretended not to know, my parents knew and the debt collection phone came again. Father and Lin Bing went to the bedroom to discuss how to gather some money to repay the debt. Red bean congee, I want to drink red bean congee. Lin Miao took a sip of ginger soup, sniffed and smiled. Okay, Mom will do it for you. Mom doted and reached out to touch Lin Miao's head, her eyes filled with more heartache. But it's also strange that my son, who has been unsmiling and always frowning, actually smiled. This is not a good omen. Even if a person is about to die, they will see through everything. So after the mother soaked the red beans, the family discussed in the bedroom that from now on, there must be someone who takes care of Lin Miao 24 hours a day and must not let anything happen to him. At night, snowflakes still floated outside the window, and Lin Miao stared blankly. It looks like I'm in a daze. There's something strange in this city, murmured the heart. Since returning to the mortal world, I could vaguely sense a fierce aura floating in the air. Perhaps it is because in the mortal world, there is almost no spiritual energy, so apart from some impurities, one can clearly perceive this fierce aura. In the spiritual realm where spiritual energy is abundant, this aura is covered by spiritual energy no matter how far it takes to walk. Silly kid, why are you so foolish? Go to bed early. Lin Bing raised his hand and lightly patted himself, pulling him onto the bed and covering it with a blanket. Sister, squatting beside me. Although Lin Miao closed his eyes, he could sense that Lin Bing was deeply frozen in him. It's the kind of resolute gaze that disregards everything for the sake of family. Turn off the lights. Lin Bing slept next to herself, hugging herself and falling asleep together, but it took Lin Bing a long time to fall asleep. That night, Lin Miao thought a lot. Over the past 6 years, he has burdened his parents too much. My parents have several part-time jobs, and the family has similar methods to treat their illnesses, even selling blood to the point where they don't even want it. Why not? That's because the blood quality is too poor, even if it's infused into a patient, it can kill them. But the old lady, a beautiful woman in her prime, cannot dress well and put on beautiful makeup like a normal girl. Early in the morning, my mother prepared breakfast, and my father took Lin Bing to the kitchen to remind him not to do anything foolish. He went to borrow money from his colleagues. Afterwards, the parents went to work with a worried expression on their faces. Lin Bing accompanied her until noon. Before her mother returned from work, she prepared lunch, which was taken care of by her mother. She explained to her mother to go to work and hurriedly left the door. Don't worry, Mom. Seeing that you're tired, hurry up and rest. After dinner, take a nap with Mom together. In no time, my mother was sleeping soundly. On the one hand, it was because he was too tired, and on the other hand, it was because Lin Miao made some small moves. Mom, have a good night's sleep. Wearing a black outfit and a windbreaker, Lin Miao followed closely after Lin Bing's breath all the way. Hongyuan Hotel. Looking at the hotel in front of me with acrylic light boxes hanging and windows covered with bathing, massaging, and rubbing my feet, my eyebrows furrowed. Push the door and enter, a pungent perfume will rush into the nose. Young man massage. The woman, wearing thick makeup and a thin black suspender skirt, welcomed her. No, I'm looking for someone. Ning Shen followed his breath and went straight up to the second floor. He smashed the door to pieces. Facing him was a chubby man wearing a bathrobe smoking a cigarette, sitting up and down staring at Lin Bing. Brother Lin. You. Lin Bing, who had just changed into slippers, looked at herself in surprise. Oh. He's your sick and dying younger brother. The chubby man on the bed glanced at Lin Miao, but as he looked at the smashed door, he was a bit puzzled. Isn't it like he's dying with so much force? Looking back and forth. Sister, there's no need to say anything. I wouldn't let you do such a thing. Seeing Lin Bing extremely embarrassed, she blushed and wanted to explain, but Lin Miao spoke up directly. Oh. That's easy to deal with. I'll put 15,000 yuan here, even with my capital and profits. Otherwise. I'm disturbing my interest. I've made it impossible for you siblings to leave this door. The chubby guy poked his cigarette butt at the ashtray, his face full of flesh and curses. In the corridor, there were also young people who had run past a few tattooed dragons and painted tigers, rolling up their sleeves and glaring fiercely at themselves. Don't worry, it's only natural for me to repay your debt, but if you dare to hit my sister's idea, I'll take your life. Threatened himself. Not existing. The fat man laughed instead of getting angry, as if he had heard a big joke. You really don't know how to write die, you kid. You don't even look at me like that. Dare you tell me to die? Today, I will teach you how to write die. The chubby guy exclaimed, waving his hand, and suddenly the ruffians in the hallway grabbed him. Don't. Qiu Yi. My younger brother has a momentary impulse, don't blame him. Whatever you ask me to do. Seeing that his posture was not right, Lin Bing rushed to the bed and cried, pleading. Anything's okay. Seeing this, the chubby man also signaled to stop, his eyes slightly narrowed and he said. I happen to be short of people here. Look, you're so beautiful and your skin is so tender. It's a pity not to do this. The chubby man chuckled and grabbed Lin Bing's chest with his big hand. Chapter 006, I Want Your Life. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The path of cultivating immortality is to compete with the heavens. The fate of heaven is not determined by mortals, and cultivating immortality is like sailing against the current. One careless move can cause the soul to fly and disappear. When Lin Miao's heart was filled with murderous intent, a message appeared before his eyes. Yes, every life in the 3 realms and 6 paths is on the wheel of destiny, and a life cannot escape the wheel of destiny from its inception. Especially for cultivators, they tend to go against fate. If they take someone's life, they will be punished by the heavenly way. Heavenly punishment. So what? With a cold snort, the chubby man tapped his wrist with 2 fingers. Although the wrist remained unchanged, the connected meridians were completely cut off by Lin Miao. According to modern medicine, the tendon at the wrist was cut off by Lin Miao. Ah ah ah. A pitiful cry sounded like killing a pig. Qiu Yi. The 3 henchmen behind them screamed in agony and pounced fiercely. 2 fingers were placed on the right arm acupoint of the 3 individuals in sequence, followed by 3 screams. The fat man in the clothes was rolling on the bed with his wrist in pain, and 3 of his subordinates were kneeling on the ground with their drooping arms, tears of pain streaming down their faces. Damn it! Dare to harm the labor management will take your life. The fat man yelled in pain. With a squint in his eyes and 2 fingers raised again, he intended to punish him with 1 wrist, but he didn't expect to be so arrogant. Want my life? Let me take your little life first. Lin Bing whispered and hugged Lin Miao tightly before he started. Lin Di, don't do anything foolish. Although Lin Bing didn't know how her always weak Lin Di suddenly mastered martial arts, she knew that killing people couldn't be done, especially in the family situation. Once someone committed a crime, there was nothing she could do. Pulled out of the hotel by Lin Bingqiang. Lin, be calm, be sure to be calm, don't be impulsive. Turning his head to look at Lin Bing, he had no impulse and was very calm. It was her impulse to have the idea of relying on her body to pay off debts for herself. Sister, don't worry, from now on, with me around, no one will want to bully you. She hugged Lin Bing and walked home together. Lin Bing couldn't calm down for a moment. How could Lin Di, who has always been weak, suddenly become so powerful? Especially just now, Lin Bing felt that if she didn't stop, Lin Di could really kill that guy. Walking, the front was crowded with people, and a corpse covered in white cloth was carried onto the ambulance. Lin Miao's eyes fixed and he pulled Lin Bing into the crowd. Brother Lin, dead, don't look anymore. Lin Bing doesn't want to go, especially Lin Miao's current situation, taboo. Don't worry, whispered Lin Xiao, who frowned and had an unattractive expression. Lin Xiao also noticed Lin Miao. Brother Lin, his soul was taken by me first. Although Lin Xiao spoke out directly, the surrounding crowd could not hear Lin Xiao's voice or see his figure. The 6 realms of life are different from the 3 realms, and their existence cannot be perceived by the 5 senses of the mortal fetus. And since Lin Xiao has magical tools in his body, even a practitioner who builds foundations and cultivates, it is difficult to perceive his existence. Sister, you go back first. I have something to deal with. After a moment of contemplation, he walked out of the crowd and took a taxi, asking Lin Bing to go back first. Lin Bing held on to her hand tightly. How could she just leave like this? Don't worry, sister, don't worry about me. 2 fingers extended to Lin Bing's forehead, and Lin Bing's expression became blurred. Mu Mu nodded his head. Turning around, the crowd dispersed quite a bit, only to hear someone nearby discussing. He's also pitiful. He's just a single man, and he didn't care if he died suddenly while drinking. He still needs to be taken care of by the hospital. Yeah, I heard there's an older brother in my hometown, but I've already cut off our relationship with him, poor guy. A few nearby residents exchanged ideas and shook their heads in lamentation for the deceased person. Well, this person's identity and background are like what they said. Today on the Wheel of Destiny is his day of death. Lin Xiao walked over to Lin Miao and nodded. Lin Xiao came to collect this person's soul and return it to the underworld, but it was taken away by the ancestors in one step. Every ghost's task is set for almost a day, and there won't be a situation of grabbing tasks. Moreover, the ghost is busy every day and doesn't have time to get involved in other ghost tasks. Ghost aura, very strong ghost aura, Lin Miao whispered, sensing a strong ghost aura emanating from the air. Well, there's no doubt about the ghost. It's really unlucky. In recent years, ghost roads have become a mess, and ghosts in the mortal world have no time to deal with it. Lin Xiao curled his mouth and sighed helplessly. Lin Miao's eyebrows also furrowed deeper. A message appeared in front of me reminding myself that the 6 realms have their own responsibilities, and it is precisely because each of them performs its own duties that the 3 realms can be guaranteed to be safe and sound. The fairyland closest to the heavenly way only tacitly allows its 6 paths to exist. Of course, this is a very distant thing and has been running in this state for a long time. That is to say, Lin Xiao only needs to collect his soul. If there are ghosts, the ghost Dao will take action to subdue them. Usually, when something like this happens, both parties work together to resolve it, with the help of the ghost and the assistance of the underworld. But now, because we need to recover our soul and maintain the original life will movement, all this work falls on Lin Xiao. Be careful when dealing with this fierce ghost, it's not easy to deal with. Lin Miao glanced at the latter, thinking of something else, and turned around to leave. Yes, Lin Miao needs to find a way to get some money. As for this fierce ghost, Lin Miao doesn't want to get involved, of course it's because it doesn't threaten his family. Chapter 007. The Appearance of a Fierce Ghost. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Although I am a cultivator, this is a matter of the ghost and the underworld. Slaying demons and eliminating them is not an obligation, let alone a responsibility, as it is determined by one's nature. Moreover, even if the ghost way became a mess, as Lin Xiao said, there were many powerful ghost ways, so it was safe to clean up a ghost. And what I don't want to get involved in is that I vaguely perceive that this matter is very tricky, far from being able to solve a fierce ghost alone. But just as he turned around, he received a warning sound. You can obtain treasures, weapons, pills, and medicine rewards by killing any of the 3 realms and 6 life paths. This Lin Miao's voice of doubt. Isn't this a disguised way of killing oneself? However, I immediately received a warning that if I were to kill an ordinary creature, I would receive varying degrees of heavenly punishment, which would continue to accumulate until the end of the calamity. If the target is an evil demon, both of whom are living beings that defy the heavens, their impact will be very weak. Ordinary people go against the cycle of life, while those who practice go against the cycle of reincarnation. This prompt made it difficult for Lin Miao to understand at the moment, it was too profound. However, Lin Xiao's request sounded. Brother Lin, please lend me a helping hand. The ghost world is in chaos, and the underworld's manpower is really tight. The underworld cannot send manpower to support me in a short period of time. If you have any needs, just speak up and I will do my best to give back to you. Actually, when the prompt sounded, Lin Miao planned to take action. Although the fierce ghost has strong strength, its remaining aura strength is only advanced in building foundations. Oh. I need money, do you have it? Without looking back, he whispered. Money. Lin Xiao exclaimed in surprise. Why does Lin Miao need this thing? Is he very lacking? I don't know if Brother Lin is referring to the money in the mortal world. Lin Xiao probed. If it were in the spiritual world, he wouldn't be able to take it out, after all, he had never been to the spiritual world. She nodded lightly. Yeah. It's big. Brother Lin, give me your card number. Lin Xiao said happily. Card number, asked in confusion, but still handed over the card number. 622848. The passers-by on the side looked at Lin Miao standing in place, murmuring to himself in the air, and all regarded him as a mentally ill person. Okay, I'll take it down. Lin Xiao listened and took out a rune stone from inside his robe. Rune stone. The most basic thing of connection. It's me, Lin Xiao, give this card number 100,000 yuan. The talisman flickered and a surprised voice came out, what do you want money for? Don't worry, just hit it, Lin Xiao urged impatiently. In a moment, the phone received a payment text message. That. Brother Lin, is that enough? If it's not enough, can we take some more? That's enough for now. Lin Miao was stunned. Does Lin Xiao's relationship still intersect with the mortal world? Oh, I was originally a cultivator in the mortal world. When the deadline came, I was arranged to be a ghost messenger and had been in contact with the disciples of my sect before my death. Seeing what Lin Miao was thinking, Lin Xiao casually said. And Lin Xiao is more concerned about whether Lin Miao is satisfied. Descendants of the sect. How many years have Lin Xiao been a ghost? A strange voice seeped into his heart. Follow me. He put away his phone and took a taxi. Where are you going, young man? Follow the path I pointed out. The location is hard to describe. At first, the driver didn't want to pull himself because he didn't know where to go. After scanning for 100 yuan, I became honest. Lin Xiao followed the taxi, running and flying straight into the sky. Having spiritual tools is good. If you build a foundation at an intermediate level, you can fly into the sky. Looking at Lin Xiao who was following behind, he murmured to himself. Is it a spiritual tool or a magical tool? It is called a spiritual tool in the spiritual realm and a magical tool in the mortal realm. Overall, the level and quality of magical tools in the mortal world are very low. Drive all the way out of the city, suburbs, and cemetery. That's it. The driver got off the car and stole a glance at himself with a look that made Lin Miao feel scared, then drove away at full speed. Is it here? Lin Xiao said from the sky to the ground. Due to his cultivation, Lin Xiao had no sense of it and could only rely on the temperature and smell of the environment to slightly detect anomalies. Of course, his own magical tools could also capture the ghostly aura. Of course, with the help of magic tools, it would take an unknown amount of time to find this place. Sure enough. There's a stinky egg smell, Lin Xiao sniffed and said in disgust. Stinky egg smell. There was a hint of doubt, as he said, the ghostly smell was so much like a stinky egg smell. However, the faint scent hidden in the air cannot be smelled by ordinary people who are not even beginners in building foundations. Let me get it out first. Lin Miao shook his hand and a piece of yellow talisman fell into his hand, muttering words. The yellow talisman flew towards the cemetery and ignited. It seems that he was a cultivator before his death, but his martial arts were low, Lin Miao said with a glance at the latter's thoughts. I made Brother Lin laugh. Before my death, I was only at the intermediate level of building a foundation. I was only 300 years away from being a ghost, but still at the intermediate level. I have a contract with the underworld, and my cultivation cannot be improved. Lin Miao also exclaimed awkwardly. Compared to Lin Miao from the spiritual realm, this skill is undoubtedly just a small trick. Lin Miao's eyes widened on this side. Has this guy been a ghost for 300 years? With a grin on his face, the latter can be considered as having enough life. Building a foundation is intermediate, and the limit is just over 130 years old. At this moment, as the yellow talisman burned out, a mournful scream echoed deep in the cemetery. A strong ghost aura also emanated from the cemetery. Chapter 008. Lin Miao's Flower Control. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Whoosh. When the ghostly aura filled the air, Lin Miao jumped in step by step. Qingming mantra was also muttered in my mouth, and a golden light shone through my slightly closed eyes between my fingers. When he opened it again, Lin Miao's mouth curved into a smile. So it's here. Lin Miao outside the cemetery sensed energy ripples emanating and has not yet set off. Let's take a look at Lin Miao's methods first, he whispered. A mournful scream followed, and a chilling and gloomy wind blew deep into the cemetery. The 5 elements of heaven and earth are diverse, and the 9 palaces merge into one vast wasteland. Lin Miao went deep into the cemetery, where the Yin wind was rampant, and ghosts and demons were like glass. Knowing that the 4 evil spirits released Yin energy to block their attack, he decided to condense the Dharma seal. And with a low voice, 5 golden lights flew out of their fingers and flew towards the cemetery. Oh! Setting up a magic formation. I watched as 5 golden lights fell towards the surroundings of the cemetery, merging with the golden light in the sky above, forming a formation of Tao constraints. Lin Miao sealed the fierce ghost in the cemetery. The body of the ghost path can be attached to the 5 elements of heaven and earth, life and death, and 7 things, intelligent. Lin Miao nodded lightly. Yes, the ghost life form has a unique ability, which is to be attached to every grass, tree, living person, or dead corpse. The ghost life form that reaches the Qi refining realm can also use the corpse to resurrect souls. So it's difficult to deal with the ghostly fate of the body and its movements. If you're not careful, you don't know where to attach yourself to. Furthermore, when the body of the ghost path is weak, it is even more possible to cover the living creatures and absorb their vitality to restore oneself. Little ghost, I didn't want to entangle with you, but you're better off. You're setting up a magic formation to trap me, but I think you're tired of it. The hiss rang out, and strands of green shadows condensed into a solid entity, pouncing towards Lin Miao with open teeth and claws. Humph, shameless. Lin Miao also snorted coldly as he looked at the finally appearing fierce ghost, and the seal changed once again. A dark golden flash once again pierced through the fingers, forming a chain that tightly bound the oncoming ghost. Stop. Seeing Lin Miao take out a black cloth bag, his dark energy dissipates, and he sucks the fierce ghost into the bag. Underworld. The fierce ghost hissed softly, with a fierce ghost aura emanating from its body, and even a mournful roar sounded. The ghost wind surged, and the chains bound to its body were broken with a loud bang. Zhen. Lin Miao remained calm and composed, his fingerprints condensed again, and the black compass flew out of his robe, shining on the head of the fierce ghost. The compass and the dark vessel shone out, dispelling the ghostly aura emanating from the demon's body, revealing a ferocious and decaying ghost head. "Kid, you're the one who brought your own demise." Shiguju growled. Lin Miao could see clearly that this fierce ghost could use the ghost seal, which means he became a fierce ghost not because of his previous obsession and deep resentment. Lin Xiao also didn't expect that he would cast the ghost seal, which indicates that he is already a ghost. The release of the blood-red aura instantly knocked the compass covering his head away and turned into a blood shadow rushing towards Lin Xiao. Not good. Lin Xiao hurriedly flew towards the sky, and the trapped magic array turned into 5 golden lights, hitting the fierce ghost. However, these 5 golden lights hit the fierce ghost without any pain or itching. The ghostly body, but it's a great compliment to Jia Jia. Fierce and sharp laughter rang out, and he pounced at Lin Xiao with a bloody mouth. "The flowers are beautiful." A faint voice rang out, and Lin Miao flickered and jumped up, with spiritual energy surging out. As he sucked Lin Xiao back in, he slapped the fierce ghost that had turned into a bloody mouth with one palm. With one palm, not only will the evil spirit be knocked out of its original form, but it will also drive the living beings underground. Hey, Lin Xiao, who was carried away in Lin Miao's hands, sighed helplessly. Yes, his spells were just a show to Lin Miao. However, Lin Miao is not referring to Lin Xiao, but to this fierce ghost. The ghost skills he has learned are just superficial, not even beginners. Sensing the fierce ghost escaping underground. "Want to leave? Come back to me." Whispered softly, reached out one palm, and scooped back along the way. The fierce ghost that infiltrated the ground was pulled back by flying backwards, and its spiritual energy surged out, imprisoning it entirely. The cultivator. The fierce ghost's blood eyes were all staring at the boss, and before he could exclaim, Lin Miao slapped him with a knife. The ghost body exploded with a loud bang. When killing the fierce ghost, an indigo sword appeared in the item list of the simulator. Blue water and green sword, a first-class spiritual weapon, murmured softly, and the simulator indicated that this first-class spiritual weapon sword can enhance the user's weak spiritual energy intensity. Lin Xiao's head drooped. He didn't expect that he could use all his means and even set up a magic formation without harming the fierce ghost and the hare. However, such a strong fierce ghost was easily exploded by Lin Miao's slap. It seems that your task cannot be completed. After defeating the ghost, Lin Miao felt for a long time in the cemetery but could not find the lost soul. It seems that the soul has been devoured by this fierce ghost. Ghost Path. From the foundation period, one can forcibly improve cultivation by devouring souls. Anyway, thank you to Brother Lin. This is not my ability, I'll go back and report first. My soul was swallowed, and I can't blame Lin Xiao. Those people in the underworld won't blame Lin Xiao for it, so they arched their hands and flew away. This guy came and went without a trace, leaving me behind in this wilderness. Lin Miao shook his head helplessly as he looked at the distant black figure in the sky. It seems that the situation is quite urgent, otherwise Lin Xiao wouldn't have flown away in such a hurry. It could only be running all the way back to the city, taking a taxi, and returning home. Pushing open the door, the whole family was in a state of anxiety. Seeing Lin Miao, Lin Bing threw herself into her arms and burst into tears. Chapter 009. Repaying your money, bad news. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Where are we going? Of course, to repay the money. In the taxi, Lin Miao tightly grasped Lin Bing's hand and felt his entire palm sweating. Lin Bing is afraid that Lin Di will pay back and beat up that Qiu Yi again. Yes, Lin Bing himself. Having been wandering in society alone for so many years, his character has long been stronger than that of boys, but he is only afraid of Lin Di. Don't worry, it's okay. With a light laugh, his gaze fixed on Lin Bing's face. Lin Bing, her older sister, but she doesn't know that she's not actually her own biological sister. I only realized it when I returned to Earth. Everything in heaven and earth, with one breath and one breath, is perceived. If there is a kinship relationship, the breath has similarities. I have similarities with both my parents, but not with Lin Bing. Although she doesn't have any personal connections, in her heart, Lin Bing is the sister who loves her the most. In the hospital, Lin Miao held Lin Bing's hand in search of breath, all the way to the 3rd floor. The young man who didn't stand or sit in the hallway gathered his eyes and scanned Lin Bing, who was following behind Lin Miao up and down. Although Lin Bing was dressed in plain clothes, she had a graceful figure and a graceful figure. In addition, with only light makeup on her face, she was a pure natural beauty. Why, you don't want it anymore? Glancing at the bald man who was staring at him with interest, he said coldly. Hey, you're looking for death, kid. Baldy threw his cigarette butt and buttoned it towards Lin Miao's collar. 2 fingers suddenly picked up. A fierce bald head was lifted away by a force of gravity, and its head hit a hole in the ceiling, falling with a frightened expression. It's you, kid. A man in black with a bandage on his arm heard the commotion, and just as he walked out of the hospital room, he saw Lin Miao standing up with 2 fingers lightly. Turning his head to stare, the latter collapsed to the ground as if he had seen a ghost. Let's go. With a cold snort, he pulled Lin Bing and pushed the door of the sick room in. Inside, Lord Chiu lay on the hospital bed, with several seductive and heavily dressed women sitting on the bed. The door was pushed open, and Lord Chiu instinctively glanced at it. But at this glance, he was so scared that he jumped out of the hospital bed and opened the window, wanting to jump down. Jumping. Why not jump? Lin Miao drank coldly, and the latter knelt down to the ground, kowtowing and calling out to Grandpa. Grandpa, please forgive me. It's because the boy has eyes that don't know the truth. This Chiu Yi is afraid of Lin Miao's means, and his wrist has become useless, so the hospital can't handle it properly. Those subordinates also lost 1 arm each. 15,000, even with interest. He took out a stack of red banknotes from his pocket and threw them onto the bed. I was supposed to let this person surnamed Xiu take it directly, but how dare the latter take it? I'll pay you back now. If you dare to have any thoughts about my sister, it's not just a wrist. With an indifferent voice, his eyes were full of murderous intent. Xiu Yi dared not provoke Lin Miao with anything and repeatedly kowtowed in response. Pulling Lin Bing out of the hospital, Lin Bing looked bewildered. Her Lin brother suddenly felt like a different person, so amazing. Ding ding, the phone is ringing. What? Dad's hospitalized. Lin Bing answered the phone with his pupils in his mouth, his voice choking up. So fast. Lin Miao's heart also tightened. Yes, my father's body was immediately perceptible upon his return. The sudden onset of illness must be related to what happened to Lin Bing yesterday. I took a taxi and arrived at another hospital. The court results are down, malignant tumor. The patient's physical condition is very poor and it is not suitable for surgery. Let's first recuperate before proceeding. The doctor did not provide an accurate treatment plan. On the test report, each item is either low or high. Leaving aside the success rate of the surgery, even doctors are hesitant to perform surgery based on their current physical condition. Of course, even if the body is well maintained and surgery is performed, it may not be helpful. Bing Bing, don't cry. I've lived half my life and it's worth it. My only wish is that I can't be with Miao anymore. On the hospital bed, my father suddenly aged more than 10 years. Even though he couldn't even murmur clearly, he still worried about Lin Miao. Bing Bing, we've all reached this point, and there are some things we should say to you now. Father's gaze turned to Lin Bing, and for a moment, his eyes became even more agitated. Lin Bing was adopted by an orphanage, and her parents felt guilty about it. They didn't live a good life, but instead lived such a difficult life with their family. Bing Bing, I know Miao's physical condition. Oh my God, this is fate. We all have a day to die, sooner or later, it's just that we can't watch Miao get married and have children anymore. At this point, the parents completely opened up. No longer persistent in saving Lin Miao's life. I just hope the family can live well in the last moment. Miao Miao is not afraid, Dad is with you. Bing Bing, after we leave, Dad doesn't ask for anything else. Just take care of you. Your mother is fine, the father said, gripping Lin Bing's hand tightly. Lin Bing had already cried into tears. What is the relationship between biological and non-biological? I only hate why the heavens treat her relatives like this. Destiny is hard to disobey, and it's not something ordinary. Lin Miao also let out a bitter smile. But if this is fate, then I'm sorry, I have to sing against the current and change my life another day. Chapter 010. Actually I am a cultivator. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Relax, our family's good days are still long. Lin Miao closed the door to the sick room and pulled a chair to sit by his father's bed. Unveiling the blanket that covered my father's body, I lightly tapped my fingers between his eyebrows. Lin Miao also closed his eyes lightly, his energy sinking into the elixir field, and a spiritual energy flowed into his father's mind. In perception, spiritual energy covered its brain tumor. Lin Miao can clear this brain tumor, but he cannot make his father survive. As the doctor said, it is easy to perform surgery and remove brain tumors, but there is no guarantee that the patient will be able to get off the operating table alive. My current cultivation level is not enough, murmured softly, to remove brain tumors. Spiritual energy needs to be a bit heavier. If not controlled properly, it will damage the nerves in the brain. Only temporary spiritual energy can cover the brain tumor, blocking its spread speed. But even so, when Lin Miao withdrew his fingers, his overall popularity and complexion improved significantly, his spirit opened and his soul cleared, and his ears and eyes were filled with a lot. Miao, what have you done to me? How did you feel a chill seeping into my mind? It's quite comfortable. My father sat up on his own. Lin Bing was pleasantly surprised as he cured his father. Old man. The mother was even more joyful and hugged her father. No, I just temporarily delayed the spread of the brain tumor. Lin Miao opened his eyes and chuckled lightly. In this way, even if the brain tumor is not clear, continuous control can extend the father's lifespan by at least 5 years. But what Lin Miao needs to do is not just extend his life by 5 years. Sister, actually I am a cultivator, Lin Miao said lightly, lifting his lips and teeth on a lawn bench outside the hospital. The cultivator. Lin Bing sat next to him, with a strange expression in his eyes. I still can't believe it. Yes, now is the era when science leads to world progress. When it comes to cultivating immortality, others may think it's a mental illness. Sister, dear sister. Lin Miao exclaimed as she looked at Lin Bing in a daze. No response. He raised his hand and directly tapped the tip of his nose. Lin Di hates it. Lin Bing pouted when Lin Miao made her father temporarily hospitalized for maintenance. Lin Miao handed over the remaining money to Lin Bing and paid off a little of the money he owed. By asking like this, we learned that our family owed a lot of debt. Lin Bing alone owed 70,000 yuan, and the whole family even owed 200,000 yuan. Upon reflection, Lin Miao was able to bring his parents into the spiritual realm thanks to the help of the Immortal Cultivation Simulator. But Lin Miao doesn't want to do this yet because of the time difference, 1 day a year. I went to the spiritual realm to cultivate for a year, and the earth only passed 1 day. And the time difference can be reversed. Sister, goodbye. She stood up with a light step and, under the gaze of Lin Bingshui, stepped into the small forest of the hospital. A faint light flashed, Brother Lin. Lin Bing ran into the forest and had long disappeared from Lin Miao's figure. In the spiritual realm, the sky is still dark. After leaving Xiaolin, one could see Jing Feiyu looking at him at a glance. Laughing lightly at him, his footsteps lifted lightly, and his body jumped up and landed on the surface of the lake. My toes are on the lake surface, creating layers of ripples. Stepping on the water, walking along the lake like walking on flat ground. Wufeng Mountain. Looking at the towering 5 peaks in the distance, my perception spread out and reached its limit. The limit is only 3 kilometers. Indeed, the spiritual power is too strong, affecting my perception. With a gentle reminder, there was nothing else in my perception except for some small animals. However, by breaking open the lake's surface with one hand, a small hole was created by spiritual power, leading directly to the bottom of the lake. Leaning down to the bottom of the lake, he reached out and pulled out a few water spirit grasses. This is a spiritual object from heaven and earth, which has the effect of clearing the mind and calming the spirit. Sure enough, there are spiritual creatures everywhere in the spiritual realm. With a light laugh, he jumped out from the bottom of the lake and stepped on the water, heading straight to a lush grassland. Although it is now the 12th month of winter, this spiritual realm is not as desolate as the mortal realm. Green mountains and clear waters are still beautiful scenery. Iyo Lingqiao crouched down and picked the 5-leaf Lingqiao hidden in the grass. This item has the effect of promoting blood circulation and removing blood stasis, and is also included in the bag. One night, Lin Miao collected a small basket of herbs and fell asleep for a while at dawn. Senior brother. Feeling drowsy, I felt someone pushing me. Open your eyes, and the pure and ethereal beauty of a fairy in a painting catches your eye. Schwer, what do you call me? Call me again. She raised her hand and touched the latter's earlobe. Just as I touched the warmth, the latter blushed and dodged her head. Senior brother, usually only when there is a deep friendship or affection between peers, will they be so affectionate. Lu Qianxue prepared a washcloth for herself, wiped it off, and then saw Wen Jing wielding an axe chopping down trees. Wen Jing axe, pickaxe, and hoe never leave their bodies. Of course, the cultivators in the spiritual realm all have a space bag in their hands that can store some tools, which is not too rare. However, to Lin Miao's surprise, under the influence of the cultivation simulator, he could see the equipment inside the 3-person space capsule. Jing Feiyu crossed her knees all night to rest her mind, and early in the morning she was dancing with an iron sword. Lu Qianxue carried a spirit sword with her, a first-grade spiritual weapon, but its quality was equivalent to a third-grade magical weapon in the mortal world. Even during the foundation period, this spirit sword can use spiritual tools to release weak spiritual energy during battles. Wen Jing, an external disciple. In the cultivation simulator, Lin Miao selected Wen Jing as an external disciple. At the same time, the dazzling light enveloped Wen Jing, who was chopping trees, and the latter suddenly felt like a sudden enlightenment, with a clear and bright mind.